Hi. I just realised I didn't do my Q&A Sunday because we'll go back to normal programming when we get back to Sydney. So we're in Edinburgh now, which is a really pretty city. It's cold, wet, miserable, which I don't do well with. If you've heard of seasonal affective disorder, SAD, I don't like dreary weather at all. Beside the point, the last few days everywhere we've been, people are talking about, in the last couple of weeks really, the Australian bushfires, a lot of stuff on the world landscape, Trump, all the missile attack, the death, etc. Yesterday was a plane crash. Today and last night, all anybody's talking about, especially in Scotland at the moment, is Harry and Meghan stepping away from a lot of their royal life. And people are comparing it to the Duke of Windsor when he married Wallis Simpson, and also there's lots of obvious comparisons to his mother. And it's actually sparked conversations with Elodie and I this morning about what you're expected when you're in those kind of situations. And in the last couple of weeks I've talked a lot about heritage, and there's these centuries of history with these families, and if you're born into them, you kind of don't get a choice. If you're born into a media family, if you look at the Packers, the Murdochs, if you look at any of these institutionalized families, if you're born into them, there's these massive expectations about what you do with your life and the box that you fit in, and how you're allowed to speak, what you're allowed to speak, how you're allowed to dress, what you're meant to do, what career path, what school, all those kind of things. And I think, not to downplay it, because there's also a lot of privilege that goes, especially with Harry and Meghan's role, but life is short. We do actually get to make our own choices. As I titled this live, Bold Moves, it must be incredibly hard when faced with choices about what you want to do in your life and what's going to make you happy. Must be so much harder when there's that familial expectation caged around you. So regardless or not of what you think about Harry and Meghan and their choice and what they're doing, whether they did it the right way, whether they should, that's neither here nor there. Making that decision, if I was wearing a hat or a blow dried my hair, I'd take my hat off to them. I think we have to give a round of applause to them for actually going, no, this isn't the life for us. We're actually going to make the moves we want to make. And I know for me over the years, making even slight alterations to what has been expected of me, or I felt was expected of me, has been really hard. And I didn't have any of that stuff. So we have to, when you know something's right for you and something's wrong for you, and you want to make what I call a bold move, you have to take away the lens of expectation, because unless something is written down like this, your little menu, these are the expectations of the role of Samantha Lee, blah, 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 blah. Unless it's actually like that, chances are the expectations that you're thinking of, and a lot of the rules, etc., are in your head. You're making them up. They're handcuffs that you've put on yourself and your life. So do the work to make it possible to make a bold move if you're not happy in that said life. Now, I for one, there's things in my life I'm massively going to shake up this year that I'm not happy with, and I've probably put those golden handcuffs on myself in a lot of those situations. But I've now at the point where I think I'm doing enough work and I've done enough work to be able to make some more bold moves. So I challenge you, if you're listening to all this stuff about, in particular, Harry and Meghan at the moment, and the comparison with people that have walked part of their road before and bailed and gotten out of the royal family, or gotten out of a familial situation. Not all the Murdochs are involved in the Murdoch business. Not all the Packers are involved in the Packer business. Look at, actually, I don't need to name a whole lot of families that have that kind of thing. you can come up with a few yourselves. You know, if your mother was an actress and your father was an actor, doesn't mean you have to go into that world. If everyone in your family was in the Navy, doesn't mean you need to do it. So question yourself over the next couple. Actually, always question yourself. You know I say that, but question the expectations that you think are there for you, whether they're actually real or not, or whether they are literally handcuffs you've created for yourself. That's my challenge to you. Have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow.